I wanted to talk about, specifically when we get to the US, the difference in the roster strength from 6 years ago. USA is in Pool C, so we'll get to that in a little bit, but I think just as far as general thoughts for the World Baseball Classic, Rhys, what comes to mind first for you when we talk World Baseball Classic 2023?
I kind of been lightly grazing across the social medias, looking at what people have said, not only so far, but also what people have said prior to, and how much exposure it's gotten. Because like you said, the roster strength has strengthened, I think, for sure. Sorry, roster strength is strengthened. That is a quote that I'm going to just run with for the rest of the show now. As because of that will cause even more exposure. But when I was kind of combing through stuff and say like YouTube or other social media sites, it's being talked about, but maybe not as much as I was anticipating it would, given the new bolster and roster strength. That's only my initial thoughts off of the top without judging anybody in particular. I will say the one video that jumped out at me was John Boy Media. I think it was the Chris Rose podcast, whatever that one is called. Yeah. But the title basically said, if USA doesn't win, does that mean it's a failure? And I thought that was interesting. I didn't have time to watch it, but I kind of was thinking, it's like, well, bolstering of the rosters and stuff like that. And I think with baseball becoming more of a world game, I don't think, and we've never had dominance of baseball like we've had in basketball in the Olympics or anything like that. So I'll be interested to watch that, but and also to talk about it with you, because you have the experience of going to these games and experiencing the vibe and how people are responding to this sort of competition. 2017,
I had a lot of fun following the tournament all throughout spring training. The thing that I guess kind of bothers me a little bit, and you could make this argument with the World Cup. The World Cup is usually played in the middle of the summer, right? And that's typically the club off season for most leagues around the world. I think the US in Major League Soccer, that's the only exception. I think that's the only one that plays during the summer. But all the other leagues, Europe, Spain, Spain, England, Italy, France, Germany, etc. All of the major leagues are on their summer breaks when the World Cup is usually played. The World Baseball Classic, it's right in the middle of spring training, the middle to kind of end of spring training. And so it's not like these guys haven't been playing and haven't been, getting their reps in, but they're still kind of shaking a little bit of the rust off. Does the World Baseball Classic mean that players have spent a little more time in their own offseason kind of training and getting ready after they, commit to playing? Because I think Mike Trout for the US was one of the first players to kind of commit, and he was obviously named captain, but I think he's one of the first players to commit to playing in the WBC. So you have to think that he had this circled for a while, and he's been training and really getting ready, getting his body ready, getting fit for it. It could be one of those things where people take it much more seriously now that they realize that, hey, the U.S. winning in 2017 is a lot bigger deal.
And also it gives a view into the future. These guys are the stars in their respective leagues, some of them, and this might be their ad to get big money in the States.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking at the ages of some of these guys for Japan, and we'll break down the Japanese roster in a minute. But man, there are some guys who I think in a couple years are going to be getting paid in Major League Baseball. You think of what the market for Shohei Ohtani is going to be this coming offseason? The market for Ohtani is going to be insane, but that's not to say that some of these other guys will not be dropping absolute diesel in Major League Baseball in the upcoming future. With that said, who is your winner of the 2023 World Baseball Classic?
Going through all of the teams, I think it's going to be Japan. If I'm perfectly honest with you, I'd be very much okay if America didn't win this. Like we've said, in order to have the game grow, I think it would be better for a non-American team to win. I don't think an American team will win. Japan's pitching is so stacked. I think that's really going to be the headway difference.
And your pick is the exact same as mine. I got to see the U.S. win in person in 2017, and I had to say again, that was an electric experience. I anticipate this year to be no different. with the championships in Miami this year, I think we can expect nothing but a fabulous set of quarterfinal games and semifinal games. At the end of the day, I think it's Japan. I think Japan's rotation, coupled with the offense led by baseball's very own unicorn, Shohei Ohtani, is going to carry them over the edge. If I were to give you a definite dark horse to make it all the way to the final, kind of like Puerto Rico last year, I'd say Venezuela. I'd say Venezuela has probably the best opportunity of any of the teams outside of the big three, if you will, to really make a run at it. We talk about these on paper, but you got to play the game. And that's the beauty of this sport. That's the beauty of the WBC. And bring on some more. I'm ready. I'm fired up. Let's go. World Baseball Classic 2023.